Hey everyone, it's Cathy Zielske. Welcome back to my channel and the craft/dining room. It's unboxing day. Unboxing day. It's a thing. I have the latest Simon Says Stamp card kit for January 2022. And I am going to unbox. I'm going to make 5 cards. Yeah, 5 cards. I'm going to have all the timestamps linked below, so if you want to jump ahead, if you're getting bored, because the first card is the most involved. Normally I start simple, but when I saw the stamp set, I had an idea and I had to follow through. I did some coloring. You never know. I can't wait to share this kit with you and the cards. I think you are going to love the theme, so stick around for my unboxing and card making coming up next. So here's the box. Let's commence to the unboxing. All right. My bag out here, set my box to the side. Have not seen this yet. So let's pull this out and see what we have. Oh my goodness gracious. All right. Well, this looks pretty fun. Let's keep it all stacked like this for now. I'm going to, got your little Charms mini pop. I'll save that for energy. And I'm going to pull this out. And let's see. This is the January 22 card kit. And it is called Warmest Wishes. Warmest Wishes. We're going to start out here with a full-size, look at that, Glitz glitter gel in Seafoam. Okay, that is a full-size gel. Pretty cool. Let's set this over here. And we're also going to get a pack of, oh, do I love self-adhesive gems. Look at that. Actually, I'm going to take them out of the pack. Hampton Art. Look at the shine. Oh, talk about things to boop with. Am I right? I've got a couple envelopes here, and it looks like we've got, and these are USA 2. Looks like I've got a dull pink envelope and just a classic white, right? There's those envelopes. Those are, is this both self-adhesive? Oh yeah, you don't have to lick them. We get a 3D embossing folder. Faceted Snowflakes. Now, I have been obsessed with 3D embossing folders lately because it's just such a cool way to add texture and dimension to cards and panels. And it's so easy to do, right? But a nice winter snowflake, very all-purpose. Okay, I'm going to flip over the stamps so we don't see those yet. Oh my goodness. We have a stencil. Hashtag Year of the Stencil. What stencil is this? This is the Simon Says Stamp Scattered Snowflakes stencil in 6x6. Anyone thinking we're going to pair up some of that goodness right there? Okay, love that. Now, let's take a look at the paper that we get. This is from La La Land Crafts Starry Night 6x6 pattern paper, and I believe, oh, it is double-sided. Okay, let's take a look at those patterns. That's more Christmassy. That's more wintry. Oh, that's cute too. Oh, that's a pretty pattern. See, this is really actually quite sturdy. I don't know what the weight is on this, but it's a very substantial cardstock. That's cute too. Always love a winter snowflake. Oh, look at that. That's gorgeous. Look at that right there. That's really pretty too. Love these cool winter tones. And also, I don't know how many of you out there are, scrapbookers or do other crafty projects, but things in these kits can be used for that as well. That's what's kind of cool. You can subscribe, right? And you can opt out of any kit that you want so you can get it delivered right to your door. Oh my gosh, there is so much paper in here. Am I seeing this right? How many? Oh, there's 12 sheets. What? Anyway, these can be used, right, for scrap. Oh, that's really cute. And look at that cute plaid. Okay. These can be used for scrapbooking, other crafty projects. That's a lot of crafty paper. Oh my gosh. And it's all double-sided, so you're getting 2 patterns on each side. Shall we reveal the Warmest Wishes stamp set? And then we'll look at the cardstock at the very end. This is Warmest Wishes, 6x8. Let's flip it over. Oh, for cute. Okay, snowmen are my jam. Now, granted, you got some gifts in here, right? So that could be for any type of celebration. It's not just exclusively Christmas, but look at these cute trees and these awesome little greetings. That to me, that looks like Christina Werner. I could be wrong, but I could be right. Kind of looks like her funky handwriting. Oh, these greetings and snowmen are wonderful. Wishing you so much joy and warmth. We're so far apart, and I wish we were closer so I could hug you. Sending you and yours the warmest and most love-filled wishes ever. What's so great about this, it's a winter set. It's not isolated to Christmas. Oh, I think that is awesome. And I would assume there are coordinating dies that go with this set. Of course, we don't include those in our card kits because that would jack the price way up, and we don't want to do that. We want to let you have some fun, but also these are not hard to fussy cut, right? Or if you have a stamp and cut machine, right? You stamp them down and scan them, and I've never done it. I've just heard about it. But that set, this actually makes me excited to color. And I don't like to color, so that is super fun. Let's take a look at our cardstock that we get in this kit. You are going to get one sheet of 110-pound Nina Solar White Classic Crest. You're going to get a sheet of soft navy cardstock. These are all 100-pound, by the way. You're going to get a piece of lavender. Oh, this is a beautiful palette. And the doll pink. So this is a really wonderful chilly winter set kit. We've got this awesomeness here, these pretty gems, all this paper. Oh my goodness, the stencil. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I'm really kind of overwhelmed with how much I like this. So I'm gonna let this simmer. I'm gonna let it simmer in my brain a little bit, and we're gonna start with card one. I often like to start simple, but part of me wants to just dive in and go nuts. What will happen next? Stay tuned. It is a rare day when I want to start out by stamping and coloring, but I do because I think this is adorable. I think the snowmen are next level cute. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to do a one layer, well, I'm going to do a panel, and I'm going to take a little masking magic, and I think I'm going to mask a snowman, and I'm looking for the one that might be the easiest to start with, but actually I think that's really sweet. So let me grab one of my blocks here. Let's see, is there a split line there? There is. Kind of like to do it on the line that feels the easiest. So we'll just, but you know, I hate to waste paper. I won't waste it. Stamp. Let's set that aside for a second. Gonna lift that up. It does not need to be perfect, but here's the great thing. This helps to condition my stamp by giving it a once over. So let me grab some scissors so I can cut this out. So I just trimmed close to this little friend, and I'm gonna go ahead and just fussy cut out the mask. I'll just, you know, go slow. I'm not the world's best fussy cutter, but you know, I mean, I'm not the worst. I'm sure there are people who are worse. I bet my husband's not as good as me. But you know who's probably really good? My daughter. She's very precise. That's not too bad. Now, I don't know if this space in there is supposed to be open. I think that it is. But you know what? That's too much fussy cutting for me. So I'm going to leave it as is. And we're going to start arranging this design on the card panel. Let's figure out the design because I like the idea of this big tree, right? I'm gonna bring that here. And I just want to kind of play with some ideas for a general design. Actually, I'm just going to put this there so it doesn't move. And that includes a tree, a snowman, and possibly this little grounding stamp, right? Because that would be cute to have. The grounding stamp and the tree. Maybe I do the tree first. Now I'm not sure where I'm going to put my greeting, and that might nestle in nicely up here. So it's all about just trying to figure out a general design, right? I need to stamp my snowman first. I want my snowman to be right there, okay? I got confused with my order. And that's going to happen sometimes. Now, I'm going to grab my Simon Intense Black, which is a Copic and alcohol marker friendly ink. I will ink up my snowman. He should stamp even better this time because he's been a little primed. Let's bring it down, and I will use my Debbie tool here to press. Let's see how that ink transfers. See if I need, oh yeah, I think I missed some of it. Let's get that head in there. Maybe I just didn't ink it up well enough. Oh, yeah, I missed it. Beauty of the Misty. Letting you stamp in the same place. Oh, what a joy. Okay, I'm still missing his head. What do I have in there? Something, I don't know. Let's try it again. Maybe the magnet was interfering. I'm going to try one more time up here on the head. Let's see if I can get that in there. I don't know. There we go. Now we bring the mask in, okay? Took me a minute there. Took me a minute to understand the process. I haven't done a lot of masking. And the thing is, it's actually really fun. It's a really fun way if you don't have the dies for something, you just sort of can play and have some awesomeness with masking. And I am going to stamp this tree behind the snowman, but I want to make sure, again, that I'm leaving room for Let It Snow to be nestled in. This is definitely not starting out simply, but sometimes you're inspired by products and you just want to go for it. So that's what we're doing today. We're going for it. Now I'm priming this up. So I'm going to take this field color from Simon Says Stamp. It's definitely foresty green. And we're just going to ink this stamp up. Like that. I think that's probably good. And I'm going to bring it down and press. So here's the beauty of the masking, right? Because where that mask is, it is going to look like the tree is behind. Huh? That's pretty fancy. I don't know. If you ask me, it's pretty fancy. Okay, and I'm still going to stamp the, let's see, how did that, oh, that looks really good. And this is our little line. We're just going to go right on there. Like, well, hang on here. I'm getting it. Promise that I'm going to get it. Maybe I'll go this way. Okay. What I want to do is have that line right there between the snowman. I think, is that going to be good there? If not, I think it'll be fine. Well, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. Someone told me I could do this, and I'm actually going to try it. They said, take a piece of acetate, like that, maybe? Just like the package. Okay, check it out. I'm just going to see if this stamps close enough. And you know what? It did not. Hey, whoever taught me that, thank you. Let's bring it down just a titch like that. Let's try it again. I think that will do it. I've never done that. I've never done a sample. Oh, that moved though. But you know what? I think that's going to work. Let's do it. I've never done that, so thank you. Because now I can just toss the package. Don't even need it. It is a beautiful day. Oh, but the magnet needs to be, there we go. Okay. Bring this down and stamp. Get that line. Always give a little extra pressure to where the mask is. Look at that. It lined up perfectly. Let's remove the mask and just see. And you can save your masks too. That's what's kind of awesome. Look at that. Snowman. And a green tree behind him. I'm nailing this so far. Okay, moving on. Let's start coloring. Now, you know me, I'm not the fanciest, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with this T4 color, and I'm going to color the muffs in the T4. I try, when I can, to change my nibs to the fine nibs instead of the chisels, because I don't do anything with the chisels, right? But if I have a fine nib on, like this, I can get in a little closer. Now here's the regular brush tip on a Copic sketch marker. And all I'm going to do is just, I find these to be a bit more intimidating, right? But these, I think these are less intimidating, and I can just blend out a little like that. Okay. And I'm not really a master shader, so I'm not going to work, well, maybe a little more here. Just trying to get a little depth and dimension. So that's the first one. And we'll start here, make the whole thing orange, like that. Make it a little darker with this. This is going to be a much longer video, I think, just starting out with this. But you know, I just wanted to try something that I don't normally do. For the cheeks, and here's the thing too, I always keep a little scrap piece of paper just so that I can say, hey, do I like the color that I'm using here? Do you know what I'm saying? And that way, you don't have to commit to putting it right on your paper, but I like R20 for rosy cheeks. I always think that one looks really cute. It's very subtle, but it's a very nice color for rosy cheeks. How close are the colors that I think I'm going to use to the color that I just stamped? And that's what I want to try to figure out. I want something, oh, actually, look at that. That one is very similar. So this is a YG63. I'm going to make part of the scarf red, and part of the scarf probably is going to be maybe gray. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. Okay, so let's start here. All right, we're just gonna come in here like that. Even though I did just go in a little. If you ever do that, I'm gonna show you something. Colorless blender, always keep one handy because then you can push it back in. It's almost like erasing. It will lift the color from whence you messed up. And I always keep one handy because I'm just not that good with the markers. All right, let's make this a little darker at the base, like that. Let's come here and do that too. And here. Okay. And then just brush it up to blend. Like that. I'm not fancy. I try, you know, try to do a little blending where I can. That's not bad. Okay. See, this is where I think coloring can be simple. If you're not confident, you know, and you're not really sure, like, I don't know what it should look like, mix in a gray, because gray's not going to steer you wrong. When I first started collecting Copic markers, I only used warm grays. Now I'm branching out. I have the toner grays. I have some of the neutral grays as well, and I love them. They're just, I like the toner because it's a cool, right? It's very cool and wintry. The other nice thing about an alcohol marker is this. You can keep coming back over and your paper doesn't pill. And that's the discovery, right? If you have a water-based marker, the more you go over it, your paper will pill, but these markers don't do that, and that's what's pretty cool about them. Let's take T2 and do a darker cuff, right? Darker cuff there. Let's bring back some reds for the mittens. We're just going all coordination here. That's what we're doing. We're not gonna be coloring heroes. This is R22? Sometimes I put the wrong caps on, and let me tell you, I have done that. I've done it a lot. I think because sometimes they just all start to look the same. And when you put the wrong cap, oh wait, no, wrong side. When you put the wrong cap on, it is a little frustrating. When you pull out the marker, you think you're using one, and you're not, and you're like, oh. That's that. You know, we're just putting a little shading on here. And we'll just blend it out a little. You can kind of do that sort of swirly twirly motion to blend. At least that's what I do. I tend to have more success with that. I think this is coming together. I want T0. So I want to keep this part just for a little shadow on the side of his body. He's a snowman, right? I don't need him guess I could do a little bit there. I don't want him to be having any extra color, but I want to have just a little here on his body, like that. Just kind of come up, maybe a little under there, just for a little shadow, right? That just gives him maybe a little more dimension than he would otherwise have. But again, it's that nice light tea color. I forgot about this because I haven't quite finished it, but I made myself a little, like a little reference, just so that when I need to pick a color in Copic, I can actually come in here and do it. Now, I don't have a ton of greens, but actually, I think YG17, do I have that pulled? This color, let's mark it out, might be closer to the stamped image than I thought it was. So let's see. Let's go here with YG17. And again, this isn't done in any order. I keep it on a shelf so that it doesn't fade. It's just done to show me this is what a color looks like. And I know there are charts. I even have those charts that people love and use, but you know what? I have no idea how to use them. So I think I want my package to be green. If I do it in green, it will have a little coordination. So let's just try it. I'm going to take that first color that I had. I'm just going to color the package in like this. Now there's another trick, and I've never tried it. And I might try it with this for adding shading. And that is where you just take a gray and go over an area to create a tone-on-tone shade. Now let's see here. So let's do that. Should I try it? I mean, I literally could be messing up this whole thing, but I'm going to grab a T4. What would happen if I color? No, see, I think that's right. So I'm just going to come up a little like that. And then it just sort of creates a little shadow at the bottom of my package. I think that's kind of cool. And then I could do a little up here too, just to make that lid a little darker, like that. I'm barely touching the paper on that. But that way, it lets me have a little, oh, I'm going to actually get the softer side. See, sometimes I do want that softer side, because sometimes I want it to be, you know, a little brushier. But see, just a little shadowing. Oh, I think that's really cute. To come up here like that, just to have a little base. Oh. T0, let's just do this. We're just trying to keep it as neutral as possible, right? And I'm probably gonna splatter something on here. I'm not sure what yet. Not sure, but I want to do something. So we just do that. Just a little, right? Add a little in there. I don't think it looks like dirty snow. Okay, maybe a little bit. Now I need to get my greeting and stamp it on, and then I think I'm going to flick on some snow. I'm going to do it. I can just nestle my greeting right here because I am going to trim this down. I'm not exactly sure how. I am going to stamp this in black because I think black is cool. And then I'm going to sprinkle on some clear embossing powder because when I do that, right, we know it will get all shiny and then it will resist whatever I'm going to flick on. I just feel like flicking on snow, you know. I got stuff laying around here. I'm going to just powder this up ever so slightly because I just need to make sure that my clear powder does not stick anywhere on these guys. So powdering up. All right, we're going to ink this up really well. Bring it down, make sure everything's in place, and I just think black is going to look cute on this, right? Not shiny. I think this is going to be cute. Actually, that looks great. I'm going to hit it one more time just for some extra ink, and then I'm going to hit it with the clear powder. But I'm going to be really quick if I can find my piece of paper, and it'll stick. See how it kind of dulls down a little like that? Isn't that cute? Well, wait till you see the magic. So good. Let's see if you can catch some of that. Well, let's see. Can we get a little dimension there? There's a bit of dimension, and it's just so shiny and black. I am going to just kind of frame it out, and I'm going to cut this off camera just so I have a nicely trimmed panel to pop onto a card base. Can't help myself. I'm going to use just some of this liquid acrylic ink. Any white ink will work. Pop it there. Well, maybe a little more. But here's another thing I like to do. Take it out, get it going first. Make sure it's coming off before you start doing it, and then just, I'm focusing kind of more on the tree, right? But we'll get all over. So it's going to give a little bit of texture, and it's going to make the tree look snowy, and there's a little on the snowman. Just kind of flick. It is subtle, right? You'll see it in the finished card, because I'm just going to kind of focus up here a little bit. Oh, texture. So cute. All right, I'm going to let this completely dry and go wash this off real quick because it is acrylic. Did something off camera. I could not help it. I spackled some white onto just a Simon Black note card, and I think that is adorable. Oh my gosh, what a way to kick it off, right? What a way to kick it off. This is possibly the most involved, but who knows? This is, we're going all in. So I'm going to pop this down on this card base. I know we're covering a lot of that good the good snow, but check it out. I think that is absolutely darling. I mean, I know it took a while to get there. We got a little masking, simple coloring. See how you can see the texture of the snow? And then it extends onto the black note card. That, my friends, is card number 1. For card 2, we're going to use this embossing folder. So I have done something similar to this before, but let's get started here. I'm just going to use some cool color in blues, right? Make sort of a wintry mix here, and I'm just wiping off my brush to get it as clean as possible. I'm going to be using one of my Simon Says stamp brushes, and this color is marine. And the goal here, well, actually, let's get this up and out of the way. Oh, and yes, I did have a quick polish change. You're not imagining things. The goal here is just to create color. Just a little color all over the card that is wintry and joyful. This is Cadet, okay? I'm just doing this on my little waffle flower mini stencil mat. And the reason I like this, I wasn't doing this before, but someone had said, why are you doing your blending on paper when you could, do it on a mat and then just pick up your ink right off the mat to waste less ink? And I thought to myself, that's a good idea. I'm going to do that. This is the royal color, and I didn't have to clean my brush off in between, right? Because we're just coming in, and I probably will be leaving fingerprints, so I'm just going to go knuckles down like that. Just get a little darkness in here. Pick that up here. Come down here. I don't think I'm going to, you never know. This ink has a higher viscosity, so sort of like how a distress oxide will leave fingerprints. This will too. And of course, you can always just take a Post-it note, or I'm going to take this little Hefty Doodle tape, very low-tack tape, and then I can just hold it. But also the other nice thing is the stencil mat kind of holds everything in place, which is kind of cool. So that's all I'm doing, just little bits of color like that. Leaving light, leaving dark. I want it to have some tonal variation. And actually, I think that's probably good. So I've brought my die cut machine back in. I'm going to take the clear plates out. I'm going to put in this metal adapter plate, and I've got my embossing folder. I want to make sure this is the part that pushes up, and it is indeed. So I'm going to set that right there for now. And check your particular die cut machine for the right embossing sandwich. This works for me. What I'm going to do here is emboss this whole panel, and then I'm going to trim it down after the fact. But I'm also going to wet it down on the back side, and I might do a mist on the front too, come to think of it. Although this ink is somewhat water reactive. So the reason I'm going to do this off camera is just to soften the fibers a little bit to prevent, oh, see, there's a little water reaction happening, to prevent cracking, or, oh, look at that. That snowflake's going to be right there. To prevent paper cracking, okay? So sometimes I need a piece of cardstock, but most of the time I don't with this particular sandwich. I'm going to go through and come back. And I might go through one more time like that. All right, now let's take a look. I love these folders because they give 2 levels of dimension. There's like the flatter little dots here and then the puff up here. How fun is that? Now this is going to dry back and smooth out a bit. So I'm going to set this aside and let it dry. And next I'm going to work on the greeting. Kind of hooked on this Let It Snow. So I am going to stamp this in Versamark, and then I'm going to emboss it in, I think, silver, because I think silver is very nice for cards that have a wintry feel. So I'm just adding some embossing powder. Ink up, Let It Snow. We'll bring this down and press to transfer. Going to take some ultra fine silver powder. Sprinkle that on like that. Oh, that's going to be so pretty. All right, and that is gorgeous and shiny. I will take my scissors and I will fussy cut this out very quickly for the card. I went ahead and cut that out, and if you'll notice, I gave it just a very generous outline. You don't need to be really close in. And here's a little tip for you. Once you've got your fussy cut piece, take a bone folder. I like to flip mine over and just kind of gently go over the edges that you cut, and it just kind of smooths it out. So if anything's janky, you know, sometimes we get a little janky in there, just kind of rub the bone folder on it. You know, let's get in there too. And on the edges, that's what I love about this Teflon bone folder. It has this edge to it that you can kind of get in. And now you'd never know that was cut by hand. I mean, you know, because you literally just saw me do it, but that is the greeting. So next I want to trim this panel down, and I'm going to trim this to be 3 3/4 wide, right? Hold this down like that. By 5, and I think I'll cut off, because you can look at where, you know, the darker ones, I want less of that, so I'll just come in here and trim that right at 5 inches. All right, now I could go, I actually like that orientation, so got that. I splattered on the last one. I feel like I need to splatter on this one because it is, well, it's snow themed, so that's what we're gonna do. Get this ink on there. This is really goopy too. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. We need to pause for a second. Okay. That was a near disaster. I just had to go clean it off. The bottle's very goopy, and I hope this is still wet enough, but let's see. Yes. Look at that. I'm just going to put some snow on here because the card says let it snow, and we're going to let it snow a little bit more, and I guess that's good enough. All right, I'll go wash this off and let this dry. While I'm waiting for that snow to dry, I'm gonna bring in my little Make Art Station. I love this little mini friend, and I'm gonna stamp a greeting on the inside. So let's grab, how about if we do Warm and Cozy Wishes? Okay, we'll do that first. Let's pick it up. Look at that. I don't even think I'm gonna practice stamp. Sometimes I do, but let's just go with, I'm going to use the cadet color. Let's go. Should I practice once? No. You know what? Perfection. Someone said recently, it's close enough for a government job, and I don't mean to impugn the government. Stamp, lift. Oh, Cathy. That's going to get a 9.7 out of 10, all right? And again, I just like to put it down flat, then pick it up, rub it, ink you up. We're so far apart, and I wish we could be closer. And this will go right underneath it, like that. I think that's good. The ink transfer. Hey, look at me, stamping a greeting like a seasoned pro. Now you can see my panel with the snow and the snow. This is multi-level snow layers. We're not mincing on the subtle meaning of this panel, are we? And we'll just pop this right down onto the card base with that lovely margin of white surrounding. Oh, so cute. I have my greeting that I cut out also with just a little bit of foam tape here on the back. Yeah. Okay. And press. Now, how sweet is that little card? You got snow, you got shine. I don't know, should we add a little more shine? We'll add a little bit of extra shine, right? Just something little. Let's pick you up. And boop. 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 And right there. Boop. Just like that. And that's card 2. And you know, the funny thing is I did a card similar with blues and an embossing folder, and I'll be sure to pop a link up too if you want to see that card, but it just goes to show how you can use the same colors on a given project or do the same technique, but everything is going to look a little different. So that is card 2. Card number 3 is going to involve this stencil, and I'm going to dry emboss. So let's take the plates out. Plate, rubber mat, cardstock, stencil. Now you can do this with any stencil. Dry embossing is my favorite thing to do. And usually this is enough pressure. Sometimes you can add a little extra for a shim of cardstock if you want it to be deeper, but this usually works for me. So I'll show you how cool it looks. Running it through. And the result, oh, look at that texture, right? Like that just adds a whole other dimension to your crafting world. You got a stencil? You don't have to just do mucky muck with it. You can do that, and that is beautiful. I'm going to stamp another little snow person, okay, on the cardstock. The idea here is going to be a little simpler. I'm not going to color. I'm going to ink this up with the Versamark. Make sure we're pressed in and bring it down and press. I may stamp it twice. And that is the beauty. All right. And we'll just sprinkle on. So what we'll get here is just the sweetest little snow lady. Oh my gosh, that is so cute. Now all of a sudden I just had the desire to maybe do a little coloring. Oh no, just minimal? Like what if I just did some lavender? I think I just want to add a little color. Now, maybe you can tell me in the comments, but I've heard that it's not a good idea to color your tips hitting an embossed area. I don't know if that's true. I don't do it very often. Maybe someone can let me know if that's a myth or is that true? Because I just think it would be very cute here to have a little matchy-matchy. Hopefully, too, one of the things this will show you is that even the littlest amount of color can really add to an image, right? It doesn't have to be, you know, Herculean or heroic or whatever you want to call it. You can keep it very simple. Let's keep it very simple. I don't even know if I want to bring in the darker. I think I'm just gonna add a little more right there. Like that. Cute. Well, now I feel like it, no, I think that's fine. And here, I thought we could just do just a little on the belly. Maybe a little up in here as that's coming down. Like that. Just so light. Like that. Maybe a little under the hat. Like that. Maybe that. For just a little, look at me. I'm really branching out in the world here. For someone who just said at the start, I don't think you're gonna color. For her little cheek. And that's it, right? Just a little coloring. And again, I'm gonna go ahead and fussy cut her out. I'm gonna go ahead and trim this panel down as well. I'm gonna trim this at 3.5, right there, by 4 3/4. So we're gonna have a wider margin on this card. Of course, these little pieces, right? These could be incorporated into another card project. I am going to stamp a little tiny greeting that says, sending warm hugs. Just gonna pop it. Maybe I should try to get this straight because it will make my trimming easier. I think, however, I'm going to emboss this greeting in white, just for a little pop of contrast. Here, just to remove static and oils. And I'll bring this down. I don't even think I'm going to use my press tool because I just need a nice transfer of ink, but I don't want to smush it. So I'll just kind of hold my fingers on there like that. I think that's good. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that does look good. See that? And it melts very quickly. Next, I'll trim this little vellum piece down using my Tonic mini trimmer. Give those some cuts, cut off the ends, trim it down a little more because I'm just going to create a little flag. Super easy to do. I love the little trimmer for this because it's so easy to manipulate. Gonna notch out a little fishtail here. And I was kind of impressed with my skill level on this because I'm not usually this good. Nailed it. All right. I've got foam tape on the back of the embossed panel, popping that down onto a white note card, and then I'll take some liquid glue and just put a little dobby there to hold that banner in place. So it'll just kind of be floating from underneath my snow person, which I thought looked really cool. Positioning that down, and that's it. The embossing, the simple coloring, and the little banner. That is the finished card project. For the next card, I'm pulling a couple pieces of pattern paper and the navy cardstock from the kit. And here's what I think I'm going to do. Put it right there at the edge and just go like that. Angle it a little. And then if you just put your tape runner all over your card, I'm going to be trimming this down too. So I'm not too worried about complete coverage, but you just want something to hold it into place, right? Angle for the energy, and we'll come up here and we'll do that too. But what I need to do, actually need my bigger paper trimmer, hold on, and I can just cut this off the edge like that. This friend here, and just butt it right up against. So we're making a panel, we're going all in like this, but we're going to die cut it down a little further, and I'm going to use an actual panel die to really impress this all together. Now here's what's kind of fun. I like to trim this down quite a bit, but what I haven't decided is, which snowman do I want? You know, do I want to do a little friend like that, or do I want to do, I kind of like the biggest one of all. I'll run this through my Gemini Junior off camera just because it does nice clean cuts and I don't have to crank with my wrist. So we're going to pop this up onto the card base with the beautiful framing margin space, like about there, okay? And that's the nice thing with pattern paper. Anytime you create strips of them, and especially if it's a coordinated collection, they're gonna look great, right? So I thought it might be cute to have my snowman off to this side, and then do we want to have a little thinking of you? I actually think that's really cute. So I'm not gonna pop this up, but I am gonna trim it down a little and just kind of want to figure out the placement, because then snowman is gonna come in like that, right? Thinking of you. Just a little, like that. Swirl it around a bit. A little grooving and moving time before we commit. Let's see, is that gonna be where we want it? Let's take the foam off the back of the snowman, and again, I'm gonna do a little dobby here. He's gonna have a little scarf coming out. Yeah, okay. But I think that's the finished card. I don't think I want to put anything else on it. I think it's very sweet, and of course, I don't think I want to put anything else on it. I mean, I could put some gold sequins. Oh, let's just see how it looks. Boop. Boop. Sometimes it helps to alter your pitch. Boop. The dogs in the neighborhood can hear that one. All right, come on out and go. Boop. Little tuck. Boop. And the last one. Boop. Oh, I think that's adorable. He has a beautiful shine. And I actually didn't show this on camera, but I used the Brutus Monroe Gilded because I thought it would look really nice with the tones in this pattern paper. But that is the finished card project. You could do so many pattern paper cards like this, right? And just have single color little friends there. Oh, I actually love how that turned out. I think I want to get funky and messy. Now, I don't know what this is going to look like, but I do know this. I want to take some pixie spray that I have here, and I want to put it on the back of my stencil because I feel like this is the kind of stencil that has, let's see if I can flip that over. Yeah, it all looks about the same. Has the, the detail in it, and I don't want anything to slip. So pixie spray is great. It holds, let's see, just do a little sweep. Not a lot, right? Just a little, and then just let it sit, right? Don't do anything with it. I'm going to flip this over now that it's tacky and just go like that. Just drop it down. And all this is going to do is it's going to hold this to my cardstock so that it doesn't move. And actually, I never know which way to go. Okay, I have a palette knife here, and I'm going to open up the deco foil. What color is this again? It's very thick, so Seafoam. Taking it out, right? Take it out on the back of your palette knife like that. And of course, there's nothing inky here, so we're just gonna start putting it down on the cardstock. Just spread it out like that. Okay, coming over. I don't know. This is not in my wheelhouse. I don't do a lot of media stuff like this, so I'm excited to see what happens. And here's the great thing. You can just keep laying a thin layer down, right? And then we start scraping off. I am going to trim this down like I trim down everything I do. And here's the beautiful thing. Scrape back in, especially if you're just doing cardstock and there's nothing inky below. I'm just showing you off my best frosting skills. And I'm going to just hold that cardstock down and go straight up. Oh my, look at that funky goodness. Walk away, let it dry. It's going to take a little while, and then I'll come back. Once this was dry, I cut it down, and even though I got a little too much in here, honestly, the texture is still preserved. I went a little too heavy with it, so I think that's still going to be cute. And then I went ahead and stamped and embossed this in white, and I'm going to create a card base to put this on. Pick this up like that, flip that over, okay. I feel like my paper is still a little damp. Take a little dot runner here, pop it down, and pop it down like that. Then we're going to pick this up and fold it, okay? And then I will use my little bone folder to press that down. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Pick it up, fold it in like that. Yeah, that looks good. And press, okay? So that now, that should be, oh yes, right in the center. And right down on the card base with that gorgeous framing margin space. Again, look at that. So pretty. And look at how that paste just gives that cool texture. And like I said, even though I kind of mucked it up a little, I think that looks so cool. And that is the final finished card project. I hope these cards inspire you to check out the Warmest Wishes kit from Simon Says Stamp. I had a lot of fun creating today. I love doing these unboxings and these creating from scratch cards. So hopefully you are inspired as well and can take some of these ideas into your crafting. Thanks so much for watching today, and I'll be back here with another card project soon. I would love to have you hit that like button and become a subscriber to my channel. Thanks so much for watching today. I would love to have you become a subscriber to my YouTube channel. And if you do subscribe, be sure to hit the gray bell below the video so that you don't miss the next time I post. Here are a couple other videos that you might be interested in watching. Thanks so much and have a great day.